Hello everyone, welcome back to another MG Lifestyle Solutions lifestyle review video. And today, as you can tell, we're going to be talking about the plant-based diet. It's something that has been buzzing around in my life between people at work, obviously the Game Changers video on Netflix, and some podcasts I've been listening to. So I decided that I'm going to embark on just a six week little plant-based diet and see what happens. So I'm taking some baseline measurements with some body fat measurements, some blood pressure, some basic objective measures that I can compare in 6 weeks and see if anything's different, better, worse, or no different.
Alright, so something I wanted to do is get some objective measures for before I begin the 6-week plant-based diet. And so I did this in-body scan to get my weight, body fat percentage, just to get some values here to begin with. So 185 pounds, 16.3% body fat. So it looks like skeletal muscle mass 88.8 pounds, body fat mass 30.2 pounds, and so I'm going to use this. I'm going to redo this in 6 weeks. I'm also going to take some other measurements. I'm going to take my blood pressure, maybe some circumference measurements, my arms, waist, that type of stuff, and we'll go from there.
Alright, so this part 1 video is focusing around planning and organizing to begin this 6-week program. So I think that's that alone on itself is an important concept, is when you're beginning something very new or maybe even drastic to your current lifestyle, you definitely need to plan it out, or else you're not going to be able to have that longevity if that's what you're looking for in that change. That's why a lot of people yo-yo and just fall back into their old habits, is just lack of a good, solid plan. So like I said, I really wanted to make sure that I didn't miss out on my protein intake. So that's where I based my plan around, and my caloric intake based on that. But there's many ways of planning and getting a baseline for what you need to take in to be successful with this, okay? Whether you want to gain, lose, maintain, and just be healthy, okay? A lot of different options. Big thing that I wanted to plan out was the type of foods I'm going to be eating and where I'm going to be getting my protein, more importantly, okay? So for me, I'm going to do a lot of lentils, so that's beans, things like that, chickpeas, nuts, quinoa, chia seeds, hemp seed, good rice and bean combo, broccoli, kale, green, dark leafy greens, going to contain some protein. And just do your research and see how many grams per cup or half cup or whatever measurement you're going to use. There's actually a decent amount of protein. So for me, that's again an important piece here. So I'm going to focus around those and the grams of protein to get my about 100 grams per calorie requirement. Okay? Let's jump in and see how I'm going to calculate my macros, and more so just to make sure that I'm getting enough protein on a daily basis, because that is one of the criticisms of going plant-based. So here we go.
So I'm going to take you through how I got my caloric demands and how I broke it down to be very specific with my macros, and that's really just to make sure that I'm getting my appropriate protein intake, because that is a big criticism that plant-based nutrition, diet, whatever you want to call it, gets. So I want to make sure that I'm totally aware of how much I'm consuming and being very diligent about that. So I use MyFitnessPal to calculate my caloric intake demand of 2510 a day. If I want to, so I'm going to subtract 500 from that to lose. So we're right about 2,000 calories per day. And that's at 185 pounds or 83.9 kilograms. Okay. And so we need to know this to calculate some of the other things. So like I said, protein is going to be my primary kind of baseline to get some of these values. And I want to make sure that I'm getting at least 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram body weight. Okay, that's, very average, I'd say, nothing crazy. And that's where I want to kind of be at for here. If I wanted to really put on more muscle mass, I probably want to be a little higher, but it's pretty conservative in my opinion for me to be able to get this on any diet. So I want to make sure, definitely get it here. So doing the math there, it's going to come to, it's 100.6 grams of protein per day, or multiply that by 4 to get calories. So we got 402.4 calories from protein per day. Okay, and if you do the math on that, that's about just 20% of the 2,000. Okay, so that means I have, if we do minus 402.4 equals 1,607.6 left. So obviously I'm going to go between carbs and fats. Alright, so, and you can play around with this ratio, but I'm going to go about 50% carbs, and that's going to be 1,005 calories or 251 grams, and then about 30% fat, which is going to be 603 or just 67 grams, because there is 9 calories per 1 gram of fat. Okay, versus 4 calories in carbs and protein. Okay, so that's why there's a big difference in the total amount of grams. Alright, so that's overall, so about 100 grams of protein, 251 grams of carbs, and 67 grams of fat. And that's going to allow me to be at my 2,000 calories a day. And if I'm consistent with that over the 6 weeks, theoretically I should lose about a pound a week, so that's only 6 pounds. Not really looking to make a drastic loss, but we'll see what happens. Okay.
Alright, so what I also plan on doing is in part 2 and 3 of this kind of series, I'm going to talk about the food prepping and shopping and just comparing quantities. How much food do I need to physically take in to meet those macronutrient kind of requirements that I'm setting for myself, and then also how does that compare price wise? How much money am I spending? How often am I shopping? How much, in terms of prep and time and all that jazz. I'm going to try to do my best in documenting that, capturing that information, because I think it is important to understand, at least before you choose this path or any path. And then part 3 of this series is just going to be looking more at the fitness and the results. So that's going to be obviously later on, after I complete the 6 weeks, or during the 6 weeks and after, to kind of take you through this little journey. Alright, so stay tuned, make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Check me out on Instagram at MG Lifestyle Solutions, and please follow me along on this little 6-week endeavor.